Hey everybody, welcome to the Book Nook. Today we are going to talk about my past, present, and future, what I've been reading, what I finished, what's going on in books in Sin's world. So most recently I finished The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. Fantastic haunted house story. There were thrills, there were chills. It was just really freaking good. It's a historical horror that takes place after the Mexican War of Independence, and it's in the 1800s, and it tells a story. It follows a woman named Beatrice, the stuff that she goes through and what happens when she comes to this house that just the second she walks over the threshold, she knows something ain't right here. Stuff is not as it seems or should be. That's what I finished recently. Currently, another buddy read I'm doing with David's book reviews. The next in the Witcher series, The Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm a few chapters in so far, and I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than the first two. The first two were kind of like short stories, and they just jumped all over the place, and it was like non-stop action. Make sure you wear your action pants. Action, like constantly, and it never stopped. This actually has some story building going into it, and you're getting more into like when Geralt and Ciri meet each other, and then the training she undergoes, and like the whole backstory and story of that. And this has actually been a lot more enjoyable to read, and I'm liking it a lot so far. Like I said, only a few chapters in, but Blood of Elves, enjoying it. So next up, we got a few other upcoming reads. We got another one that is called The Lost Girls. Now this is like a Peter Pan retelling, and I'm a big fan of when they do like retellings of like lore or myth or fairy tales, anything of that sort. I like when they do a new spin on it or a retelling. They're also making this into a movie, and the movie comes out the 17th. I want to say June 17th is when this comes out. This month. I'll read you the synopsis. More story time with Sin. Wendy has long heard the family legend. Madness strikes the darling women at a certain age, traditionally after romance visits in the form of an overgrown boy. I wonder who that boy is. Should it be Peter Pan? The darling girl will fall in love, the boy will desert, and the girl is left on her heels, heartbroken and flirting ever after with lunacy's lure. Wendy knows she should be grateful for her childhood adventure, but instead she finds herself adrift, resenting the heartache turned eccentricity of her mother, envious of the oddball antics of her great Nana, and consumed by the mystery of her grandmother Jane, whose disappearance following her own youthful romance remains unsolved. When Wendy falls in love with Freeman, an exuberant and irreverent man-child himself, she finds herself perpetuating the pattern she thought she had missed. Oh, crap. And then along comes her daughter, Barry, the precocious, sullen child with the eyes of a sage. When it is Barry's time to go off to the Neverland, Wendy, like so many mothers before her, questions who she has become. Is she barking mad? Is Barry? Is there more? Nope, yep, there's more. Wendy's journey to self-realization takes flight from the themes suggested in the classic novel, Peter Pan. So yeah, that sounded pretty good, so I picked that up. Looking forward to reading that. And then also, it's Pride Month, so I wanted to talk about the books I'm going to read for Pride Month. Now, I read LGBTQ books all throughout the year, so I will link to some other reviews of stuff I've already done if you want some more suggestions. Those will be down below as well. The most recent one I read was Siren Queen, which has some sapphic romance in it, and it's fantastic. But the ones I'm going to read currently for Pride Month, we have She Who Became the Sun. This is by Shelley Parker Chan. I'll read you a little synopsis of this one. Yeah, so what happens basically is the brother dies and the girl takes on his identity. So in a famine-stricken village on a dusty yellow plain, two children are given two fates, a boy, greatness, and a girl, nothingness. In 1345, China lives under harsh Mongol rule. For the starving peasants of the Central Plains, greatness is something found only in stories. When the Zhu family's eighth-born son, Zhu Changba, is given a fate of greatness, everyone is mystified as to how it will come to pass. The fate of nothingness received by the family's clever and capable second daughter, on the other hand, is only as expected. When a bandit attack orphans the 2 children, though, it is Zhu Changba who succumbs to despair and dies. Desperate to escape her own fated death, the girl uses her brother's identity to enter a monastery as a young male novice. There, propelled by her burning desire to survive, Zhu learns she is capable of doing whatever it takes to stay hidden from her fate. And I'm looking forward to this. I've heard really good things about this book, so I'm very excited to read it. She Who Became the Sun. I also am going to read another book, and I believe I heard Kristen Crave's books talking about this one, and it's another like myth retelling. It is called Wrath Goddess Sing by Maya Dean. And then this is a retelling of the story of Achilles. Synopsis of this one is: Achilles has fled her home, drawing on ancient texts and modern archaeology to reveal the trans woman's story hidden underneath the well-known myths of the Iliad. Maya Dean's Wrath Goddess Sing weaves a compelling, pitiless, beautiful vision of Achilles' vanished world, perfect for fans of Song of Achilles and the Inheritance trilogy. So yeah, a retelling, and as I've already said, I'm a fan of those, and this sounded really good. So I have this currently on hold at the library. It hasn't come in yet. I should have it soon. And then the last book I'm going to read is All Boys Aren't Blue. This is a memoir, and this is by George M. Johnson. I love that cover. It's very pretty. All right, so this is a story of George Matthew Johnson. This is a story for us all. In his groundbreaking young adult memoir, prominent writer and LGBTQIA+ activist George M. Johnson shares both glorious and gut-wrenching memories of growing up Black and queer in America. From getting bullied at age 5 to visiting flea markets with his loving grandmother, to the thrilling frontiers of his first relationships, Johnson's early life is a profound tapestry of everyday experiences. As a rising star in cultural criticism, Johnson turns his passion for exploring intersectional identities to his own life by weaving questions of gender, masculinity, brotherhood, family, and Black joy throughout his stories. Posing the same questions to the reader, he invites us to consider what social influences have governed in our own lives. Most central to Johnson's journey is how to reconcile his Blackness and his queerness, identities that are sometimes at odds in his story. The answer is reassuring testimony for queer men of color. They are equal parts to a whole and perfectly designed person. The bravery with which Johnson shared his story is breathtaking, and I really look forward to reading this. So that is what I will be reading for Pride Month. If you are interested in any of these books, I will have links down below. They are affiliate links, so a tiny bit will go to me. And then it also goes to independent bookstores, which you can choose which one you'd like it to go to, or just have it in general go to different ones. Usually it'll just kind of pull from wherever your zip code is and put them to those. That is what is going on in my reading week. Lots of good stuff happening. Also, if you guys like talking about books and all that fun stuff, you know, what you're reading, what you're going to be reading, I do have a Discord. If you'd like to join it, the link to that will be down below as well. If you had fun hanging out today, boop that like button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff and whatnot. So, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye!